can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country, and Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Polaris Fun Center, where you can get a $500 rebate on any 450 or 570 Model A TV, or $2,000 cash back on a Polaris XP1000. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC, and you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays from 2 to 4 on the Zone.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family.
Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
You have some dough. It's lunchtime, but there's no way you would eat just dough for lunch, right? Well, the good thing is, I have some cheese. Your friend has some tomato sauce. This random guy on the street has pepperoni in his backpack. If we bring all these ingredients together, we end up with something much better than any of them alone. A savory pizza for lunch. But each of us has not only different ingredients, but also different opinions coming from our different life experiences. If we bring all these experiences and all these opinions together in friendly, civil conversation, we end up with opinions and ideas that are better than any of our individual opinions before. So if we want to come up with better ideas for a better world,
what we really need are civil, civic conversations. Pizzas. It's an American thing. AmericanThing.org.
Life is filled with many paths. But for Native American children, the most important path is the one that leads them out of poverty.
It's a path that led me here, to St. Joseph's Indian School.
It's where I came to grow and learn. Find care, love, and support. Stay healthy and safe. And make friends that last a lifetime.
For almost 100 years, St. Joseph's Indian School has been giving Native American children a path out of poverty through education, love, and support. And 96% of St. Joe's students graduate high school. That's 10% higher than the national average.
St. Joseph's Indian School is our path to a brighter future.
Learn more at stjo.org today.
To find the complete list of prize contest rules for the Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM, visit zone1150.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. College Station's municipal judge tells WTW News that it's a shame that the leader of a Texas A&M student group told the city council that he supports the decriminalization of possessing marijuana.
Judge Ed Spillane tells WTAW News that he never told members of A&M's chapter of Students for Sensible Drug Policy that he supports decriminalization. Judd said he met with the group and he told members that he did not have jurisdiction over marijuana cases and as a judge cannot take any position over laws concerning marijuana. Spokesman for the student organization also told the council that A&M student government supported decriminalization. Student body president Case Harris told the council that was not correct. Bill Oliver, 1620 94.5 WTAW.
The College Station City Council gives the green light to a staff request to pursue city-initiated rezoning in 6 areas of town to allow housing where more than 4 unrelated occupants can live. The council also approved at its last meeting the first request to change rezoning to the new Middle Housing District. The council's unanimous vote for Middle Housing zoning was on land at Fidelity and Highlands where a single home once stood. Brazos County's new public defender's office is up and running. Chief Defender Nathan Wood says this is the result of the number of criminal cases rising. At the same time, there are fewer defense lawyers representing people who cannot afford legal assistance. Promotion of Red Cross Month in Brazos County continued with an appearance at last week's Bryan City Council meeting. Mayor Bobby Gutierrez added some comments after reading a proclamation.
These are the people who do they are the first responders. When we talk about first responders, not only fire and police, It's not only National Guard. These are kind of like our local National Guard people.
The Red Cross is hosting an online giving day this Wednesday, and volunteers are being recruited to install smoke alarms in Madisonville on April 1st. For more news, go online to WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
It's back and better than ever. Chili Fest 2023, presented by Miller Lite, is headed to Snook, Texas, March 31st and April 1st for 2 days of live music and the kind of fun you can only have in Aggie Land. This year with Saturday performances by The Weathered Souls, Jacob Stelly, Colton Moore and The Clever Few, Shane Smith and The Saints, and headliner Whiskey Myers. Friday performances by Tyler Halverson, Carson Jeffrey, Giovanni and the Hired Guns, Muscadine Bloodline, and headliner Jamie Johnson. Get your tickets online now at chilifest.org, plus camping, team information, and more. Chili Fest 2023, presented by Miller Lite. Miller Brewing Company. Great beer, great responsibility. 21 means 21.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hillcosupply.com. Aggie baseball had number 1 LSU in town over the weekend and were able to avoid the sweep on Sunday. Stanley Tucker delivered a go-ahead single, and the Aggies scored 4 times in the 8th to come back and beat LSU. Head coach Jim Schlossnagle after the game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, every single win in this league counts. You need to avoid sweeps at all costs, especially at home. And it says a lot about the character of our team that, we're down a bunch of players, and you get guys like Tucker come in there and give you a little bit of a spark.
The guys will host Rice tomorrow at home. The game will start at 6 o'clock, and you can listen on The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Number 21 Aggie softball had a tough weekend. The Aggies dropped all 3 games against Georgia at home. Yesterday, the number 17 Bulldogs run-rolled the Aggies 8-0. The team will look to get back on track Wednesday against Louisiana Tech. That game will be at Davis Diamond at 6 o'clock, and you can listen on Gospel 97.3. In other Aggie athletics over the weekend, the number 27 A&M men's tennis team secured a 5-2 victory over Arkansas on Saturday. The number 2 women's tennis team remains undefeated in conference play as the women claimed their 5th straight win over LSU. They also defeated number 13 Miami yesterday to earn their 8th straight ranked victory. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett.
Every Tuesday at 1:55 on the Louis Bellina Show, it's the mascot of the week with Long Way Home Adoptables, and thanks to Waggy Pet Zone. How do service dogs learn to perform complicated tasks for their person? Find out by attending Waggy Pet Zone's basic and advanced service dog group classes or private lessons. Sign up at waggypetzone.com. It's the Louis Bellina Show, Monday through Friday, 11 to 2, and brought to you by B&B Automotive and Superior Auto Service.
If I'm going to do this, I'll need my news team at my side.
News team, assemble!
Howdy, Aggieland. Welcome to the SEC.
Our program will be built on 4 principles in which I talk about all the time: toughness, effort, discipline, and pride.
Dang it! I'm going to have to buy that boy cream cone.
And now I'm distracted on my point. What were we talking about?
It's bull crap. All I care about is winning. Show me the dang baby.
You do it till they do it right, and then you do it till they can't do it wrong.
Go get him! Why are you dancing around? Eat him like he's a steak.
He fits what TexAgs radio is about. He fits into what the listeners are going to want. He's a pro on every level.
It's Nuño and the crew on TexAgs Radio. Right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
Hey, hit records on my demo. Did y'all boys not get the memo? I do not stay at the Intercontinental.
So I was getting ready for the show this weekend, during the weekend, I don't know, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and I was just mentally just kind of preparing. I was like, man, kind of sucks. Basketball season's over. Baseball's getting worked by LSU. And then I had a reminder, spring football starts on Monday, today, and Aggie baseball had that nice comeback over LSU. and we're at the freaking best university on the planet, so let's go. It is TexAgs Radio here on a Monday morning. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. Olin Buchanan with me in his awesome maroon long-sleeve shirt. Little polo action, little Ralph Lauren.
I think my mother-in-law gave me this as a Christmas present, if I recall correctly.
Were you a big Ralph Lauren guy at one point?
When I had to buy my own clothes,
yeah,
I bought a lot because I don't know a lot about clothes, but I knew people felt good about those.
Yeah, classic.
So
right?
I would just go in and buy that because I knew it was considered, good. What's the word I'm looking for? Acceptable attire.
And not cheap, by the way, back in the day, at least. In the 80s, I would say, Polo was like, I know it's still a great brand, but like, at least where I was growing up, people like, Polo was a status symbol.
I do remember going to Cancun with a friend of mine and going by a Polo outlet and was able to buy shirts for about half price.
Isn't that the best?
Yeah.
So I was over here feeling sorry for myself this weekend. Like there was a moment when we got back, by the way, thank you, Des Moines. Great people. Awesome people. Terrible experience. I never want to go back.
Nice people.
Great people. Like the customer service in that hotel, the people that we came across, the food, everything was great except the city of Des Moines. Like Des Moines was fine. I think the experience with the basketball game.
And being in Des Moines.
Yeah,
Des Moines in March. And he's probably Des Moines between, say, October to March, maybe even to April, is probably not the best place to be.
Like, and again, this is not a shot at Des Moines at all, but just me personally, if it's March, I want to be outside, like, in potential sunny weather and potential beach weather. That's it. That's all I'm asking for spring break. I don't want to have to wear a parka and freeze my face off when I go from one place to another. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree. When I moved to Nashville, I realized how spoiled we are with the weather here because I remember snow flurries in April and just my inner clock that didn't make sense. Everything was malfunctioning.
So I was feeling sorry for myself for a couple reasons. A, Friday's day of travel. You don't get days back in life, right? It's not at the end, hey, we owe you that Friday. It was a full day of travel for us, right? Which is a Crimea River, but it was a full day of travel.
But let's be honest. We probably could have said, we'll wait until Saturday.
It still would have been a full day of nothing.
Probably, well, it's true, but it wouldn't have been traveling, and we wouldn't have got home at like 3:30 or 4 in the morning.
I walked into my house at 2:57 on Friday night, Saturday morning. Unfortunately, I was awake by 8 a.m., but that's just life with kids, and I did my daily routine. But I was feeling bad. I was like, oh man, like I was not ready for basketball to be over. And then Saturday night, I'm watching the University of Texas for a little bit. I can't watch them for too long.
I watched Texas University. I missed that other game. Who's that other team?
I'm watching the game,
yeah,
and I turn it on when Penn State's making their run. And like, I'm enjoying every second of it, even though I know it's going to go away. I know. And they take the lead. And they're hitting threes finally again, right? And then I saw Texas do something that I thought was pretty interesting. Something that you would have never thought of. They went to the paint a lot.
40 points in the paint.
I'm like, I wish we did that.
I still can't figure it out.
I mean, I figured it out. But again, that's how I felt, because I'm trying to advance the story. That's how I felt on Saturday. And then Sunday, my soccer team got destroyed in the 92nd minute. That's a different story. But I'm feeling bad. And then Aggie baseball gives me this glimmer of, you know what? It all changed. That one inning and that victory over LSU just changes the way I go into work on a Monday morning. Thank you, Aggie baseball.
Thank you. What was the young man's name? Stanley Tucker?
Yeah.
That guy was the star. I saw him on the ESPN's top 10 plays, number 1.
He deserved it.
Heck yeah. When I saw the play, a diving catch to prevent a lot of runs and keep A&M in it, and then they win it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stanley Tucker.
Stanley Tucker it is. But it just changed the entire perception of the weekend, the momentum. I feel so much better.
Well, keep in mind, I had 2 LSU students in my house. Because my son came.
Did they go?
And he brought it. And so they're watching basketball, but I am following Richard Zane's thread. He does a great job on that. And I'm updating them on what's going on. And, they were being all smug. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's 6-4. They got a runner on. Well, now they got 2 runners on. Bottom of now, bases are loaded. Oh. Strikeout. Strikeout or pop-up, can't remember. And then it happened.
It did happen. And look.
Jack Moss, didn't he have a big hit?
He had a big hit. Overall, though, like that kind of game to me, and we'll talk to Schloss at 9:05 about it, and to Bronny as well. That kind of game, especially with we'll see how it affects the Tennessee series, right?
Right.
We'll see.
Well, here's what.
And then Ole Miss.
My take away from that is supposedly LSU is number 1 in the country, and it's not by just a narrow margin.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, you played 2 competitive games with them and won. And I guess that opening day pitcher of theirs is pretty dominant.
Yeah.
But 2 competitive games. I think from what I read on Saturday's game, they lost by – you helped them. You can't help a team like that with 11 bases on balls. Who are you going to beat when you walk 11 batters?
And then I think they hit, was it another 3 more, something like that? It was, I think, 14 free bases that they gave, I believe. Just not good. And then Friday night, obviously, not good. Like the whole, it started feeling bad. But again, we're here at Monday. Aggie baseball just beat the number 1 team in the country, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to focus on the most recent game.
Okay.
I'm not focusing on Friday or Saturday. I'm focusing on the most recent game because I'm trying to have an optimistic point of view. We've got spring ball starting today. We're going to hear from Anais and Damani Richardson, I believe, later on this afternoon, and Jimbo Fisher, of course. So tough transition when basketball ends a little early, a little premature, but we got some good things to talk about this week.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was disappointed, of course, with what happened in Des Moines, but it's time to focus on other things.
Yeah, time to focus on other things. But we do need to mention some of the things that happened over the weekend in the NCAA tournament. Bama is expected over Maryland.
I was shocked that Maryland got out. I think, West Virginia? Just choked like Mama Cass on a ham sandwich.
Say that again?
Choked like Mama Cass on a ham sandwich.
Okay, have you ever heard that line before?
No, unfortunately I haven't.
You ever heard of Mama Cass?
I'm surprised my dad hasn't used that one yet, but what is it? Mama what?
Mama Cass. She was Cass Elliott of the Mamas and Papas 60s recording group, vocal group, and allegedly, according to legend, she choked to death on a ham sandwich.
Oh, wow. That part I didn't know.
So West Virginia choked like Mama Cass on a ham sandwich.
Gotcha.
So we had Bama over Maryland, Arkansas over Kansas.
I called that one. I've got my friend Bob Holt up in Arkansas to prove it.
Yeah. Musselman, of course, the shirt off.
You know what? I saw somebody on our board say, if we'd gotten to the Sweet 16, I'd have been okay with Buzz taking his shirt off, right?
Yep.
I mean, you celebrate different ways, but if it's somebody else's coach, it looks kind of bush league. If it's your coach, it's okay.
Yeah, of course. That's okay. Tennessee over Duke.
It's a little bit of surprise there.
So a couple of the teams that A&M beat.
Mm-hmm.
Mizzou falls to Princeton.
Yeah.
How about that? U of H beats Auburn, but Auburn was up on them. Like for a moment, it felt like maybe Auburn's got this.
Well, they were playing in basically a home game.
Home game.
And Auburn has talent. It's hard to look at. Remember, they were number 10 in the country at one time. It's hard to look at Auburn and wonder and think, why aren't they better than they were?
Kind of like Arkansas, but Arkansas figured it out at the right time. They absolutely did. And then we also have K-State over Kentucky. Did you hear some of the commentary from the coaches afterwards?
I did not, but I thought Kentucky would win that game. But that was actually a good game.
The 5'4", I don't know how tall he is, the kid on Kansas State I think Cal called him the little guy.
And Kansas State has those runts in every sport.
Yeah, they do. And then the coach for K-State was like, we have better dudes. So they're a little back and forth there. Fun times.
Yeah, it was that was a really well played basketball game.
If you want to be a part of the conversation this morning, you can do that on the A&B text line. That number is 979-693-1150. A&B, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank. Good Texas banking. The website is amb.com. Of course, you can call us on that number as well, 979-693-1150. How are you feeling about the weekend, especially after the weekend ended, the way it ended? Because I know it was like as low as you can get after Thursday night, right? But it's back on the way up. Let's go behind the glass and say hello to Nick Savage. Nick, good morning, sir.
Howdy, good morning, y'all. Good to have y'all back. It's been lonely in here. I was like the only one here running the show when y'all are gone. But anyways, since y'all are talking about the tournament, so I don't know if you're in it, David and OB, but we're having like a bracket challenge here with all the TexAgers. Give me your guess. Who do you think is in the lead coming out of the first two rounds?
Well, who knows the least about basketball? Because the less you know about basketball, the better off you are in this tournament.
Yep. My wife is leading at our house, our personal. I wasn't asked to participate in a TexAgs bracket.
I was going to say, why aren't y'all in it?
I wasn't
y'all
asked to participate.
Y'all can add your names.
My bracket looked like someone cut themselves shaving and bled all over the paper.
That's what we were saying. Kennedy's leading right now.
Kennedy is the leader.
What did I say?
I know. Whoever knows the least. She just started picking by colors, I bet you.
Fairleigh Dickinson. I think that sounds like a nice place.
That's about right.
So how are you doing in this bracket challenge?
Well, yesterday going into the second round, I was like second to last or last, one of those two. But I picked Arkansas over Kansas. I had Creighton beating Baylor. Had a few of those upsets that happened yesterday, so I moved up to about mid-pack in like the fourth area. So I'm not too mad about it. But yeah, when it comes to baseball and stuff, obviously not the best weekend ever, but one guy I want to talk about is Will Johnson. He's been nailed since he allowed 3 runs on February the 24th to Portland. Since then, he's pitched 11 scoreless innings, struck out 18, and only allowed 1 hit. So really emerging as a big bright spot in the back end of that bullpen, and I'm looking forward to hear what Schloss has to say about him a little later.
Absolutely. I saw the little note you put in our – that's fantastic. He's been rolling through. Let's go to the News and Social Center. We check in again with Kay Nagley. Kay, good morning.
Good morning. We missed y'all last week. I had came back on Friday from spring break, and no one was here except Nick.
Bronny was here?
Oh, yeah. Bronny and Richard came.
Clendenin was here?
We were having to man the fort because we had a lot of technical issues, so there was people literally running around this place trying to make sure everything. Nick did a great job last Friday.
Why did we have technical issues? What kind of issues did we have?
I mean, maybe some Wi-Fi issues. And
y'all kept disconnecting from Zoom.
Oh, that's the issue. Was that our fault there, you think?
Yeah.
I think it was the Wi-Fi.
But it's okay.
Right there.
It was all right. We got through it.
All right, what's going on in the world of news and social?
The world of news and social. So as we know, baseball secured a dub on Sunday, but they will return to action on Tuesday to take on Rice for the 3rd time. That first pitch is set for 6 p.m. at Olsen Field at Bluebell Park. And then unfortunately, softball dropped their 3rd straight in the series finale with number 17, Georgia. They got run-rolled 8-0 in that game, but they will also return as they host Louisiana Tech on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Women's tennis secured 2 wins over the weekend. Their 7th and 8th straight ranked victories over LSU and Miami. Men's tennis also secured a 5-2 road victory. And then track and field will have some outdoor action in North Carolina starting Thursday, and we'll go through Saturday.
Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate you very much, Kay. There's another text that comes in that I just want to read out. It's Johnny in College Station says, what about the number 1 seed? I assume he's talking about Purdue falling. They're not SEC, so I didn't put them in my lead. But, yep, Purdue falls. And I believe you told me very early, Purdue ain't. Mm-hmm.
I didn't think Purdue – well, I thought Purdue was, as a number 1 seed, I was unimpressed. In fact, I'm unimpressed with the Big Ten.
Yep.
And
how about Michigan State?
Michigan State is – playing well. And then there was Penn State.
Oh, man. Hit a couple more threes, Penn State, please.
I will say that I have to admit that I was impressed with the way Texas defended them.
Yeah.
Kind of saw firsthand and said,
yeah, we're not going to let's
not do that.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, dude. I wonder if we play that game an hour earlier, a day before, a day later. Like if it
a day later. Well, I mean, once A&M saw them,
Well,
they would probably be a whole lot better.
Yeah, it'd be a different
Haven't
game plan.
seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, OB, I want to just set the scene for spring practice. Let's just kind of chit-chat about things that, like, I know there isn't that much we can see, but we can at least start identifying the way people look physically, and you're making that face.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, you know how, if you ever go to the horse races?
Twice.
Okay. You ever notice that they have a lot of people that hang out on the rail and they watch the horses as they come by, and they're kind of looking at them,
breaking it down,
And I guess, you know, if you know what, I just say, if you're playing football at Texas A&M, shouldn't you just look good?
Yes, you should.
I mean, it's a big time SEC school. But yeah, sometimes guys get bigger.
They get bigger, but here's the thing: it's the next chapter in the book, right? The next, we had we had signing day, we had guys reporting, but now it's the next chapter, and you can't get to the fall camp without going through spring practice.
Oh no, and I think this is obviously more important spring than usual because Bobby Petrino's here installing, I guess, a different offense, or at least his version, but. So that makes it even more important than spring football normally is.
Yeah. Let's hit a break. We'll talk about that when we come back. But right now we are talking about those achy joints you have. You got to do something about it. Don't allow the achy joints to stop you from playing golf or picking up your grandkids or just, having fun in the backyard, whatever it may be. You can get relief right away. Stop with the steroids. Stop with possible surgery chatter. There is a better way to get lasting relief, and that is through our friends over there at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, which uses healing properties from your own body and highly concentrated areas, and they place them directly into your achy joints. So it will take care of a lot of that pain and get you moving once again pain-free. So if you have knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, I'm telling you, this is the way to go. The satisfaction reports are amazing. And the best part is there's no downtime. You can go getting back to your old ways. And the old ways of dealing with pain are no longer the way, right? Just make sure you do yourself a favor and call our friends there at QC Kinetics. And also, remember, there's HSA funds. You can have HSA and FSA funds to help you get there. No surgery, no drugs, all natural alternative. The call is free. The consultation is free. You have nothing to lose by calling up QC Kinetics right now. That number is 979-452-6000. QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. That's 979-452-6000.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. The Bryan Noon Lions Club invites you to the 49th annual John and Beth Slovacek Memorial Sausage Supper, Tuesday from 5 to 7 at Bryan High School Silver Cafeteria. Purchase tickets at Brazos County Bank or either Extraco Bank location. Friends of Chamber Music presents German virtuoso organist Christian Schmidt in a free concert at A&M United Methodist Church in College Station on Tuesday night at 7. The community is invited to a groundbreaking for the Never Forget Garden site at Veterans Park this Wednesday morning at 11:30. Find more information online at neverforgetgardenbrazosvalley.com. Texas A&M's Brothers Under Christ invite you to Island Party benefiting Living Water. The music festival is this Saturday at Wolfpen Creek Park. More information and a link to tickets is on Instagram at Aggie Island Party. Listen in to the Louis Bellina Show weekdays 11 to 2 to win your tickets to see Bill Burr at Reed Arena. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
We're here with Jackson Rollo from Rollo Insurance. And Jackson, you guys have been around for a long time. You're the very best at what you do. But I ask you, why Rollo Insurance?
Well, we've been growing recently with over 45 offices in multiple states. But we haven't lost who we are. We're still super focused on being hyper-local and involved in the communities in which you're going to find a Rollo Insurance office. And we offer products like home, auto, life, health, and business insurance from some of the top carriers in our industry.
You name it, they do it. Visit RolloInsurance.com.
Are you suffering from hair loss, bald spots, receding hairlines? There's a new solution for men and women that uses regenerative medicine to stimulate hair follicles and give you thicker, fuller hair with no surgery. This remarkable treatment is now available here from the regenerative specialists at QC Kinetics. That's right, the same protocols that help relieve joint pain can be used to give new life to dormant hair follicles. QC Kinetics medical professionals can use growth factors from your own body, concentrated and applied to your scalp, restoring hair follicles, preventing further loss, and increasing hair growth. Imagine thicker, fuller hair with no expensive surgery and no downtime. So if you're losing your hair due to aging, pattern baldness, or a medical condition, call now to learn more about exciting natural biologic treatments, regenerative medicine that can stimulate those dormant hair follicles. Get your hair growing naturally again. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics 979-452-6000. That's 979-452-6000. 979-452-6000.
Everybody deserves a second chance, especially on your brackets with all the madness of March. Go now to zone1150.com and play Zone Madness Second Chance Brackets, brought to you by Aggieland Green and in part by Hungry Howie's, Gold Star Barber Studio on Longmire Drive, and Smokin' Aces Barbecue Competition Team. Play now at zone1150.com. Great prizes on our Second Chance Bracket, brought to you in part by Brazos Credit Union and C&J's Barbecue.
There, who comes up
That's
with
Sean at the mothership.
All right, so not only does he get the mamas and the papas with Mama Cass, who, as we discussed, her demise, but he also comes up with one of their biggest songs, which happens to be on Monday. Checks all the boxes.
Well, Sean's brilliant.
Yeah.
He is. Except he works on this show. He can't be that brilliant if he works with us.
Checked all the boxes.
By the way, why do they call themselves the mamas and the papas?
I don't know. Why does anybody call themselves, they come up with a reason. I don't know.
Like, why do they call themselves Duran Duran?
I don't know. I thought they stuttered.
You show me your jokes. Take me a second. And that guy's like, that's good. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. I did not see the video. And typically I like to watch things before I talk about them. Okay. But I've heard this before, so I'm okay with talking about it. Josh Pate, our buddy. I like Josh. He has a video, and I don't know how recent it is, but coaches under the most scrutiny, fire, whatever you want, pressure this year. And I think every year of a college football coach you're under pressure. He had Jimbo as one of the guys. And I get it. Yeah, absolutely. I totally get it. But I think outside of who? Nick Saban, and he would be under fire too. If any coach goes 5-7, in my opinion, in big-time college football, of course you're under pressure. And a lot of times if you go 8-4, you're under pressure because there's certain programs that 10 wins is the bare minimum expectation.
And A&M should be one of those.
Yes.
And you're paying your coach like that, like 10 wins should be a bare minimum. So when you have a coach that is paid like 10 wins should be the bare minimum, and he won half that and lost to Appalachian State, then you're damn right. It's he's under pressure.
Yeah.
As well he should be.
He absolutely should be, yeah.
And he probably understands that.
And he absolutely does because he's made, I think, necessary changes.
I think there was no doubt that some change, especially after that debacle of last year's offense, that it absolutely needed to make a change, and I applaud him for doing so.
Unfortunately, you cannot look at 1 year and then use that copy-paste formula for the next year. It's like, if we have a good offense this year, we'll do this, because every year comes with its own challenges. Although I do believe the West, or the SEC, let's go with the West. The West is very vulnerable throughout.
It is, and it was last year. And I've said it before, LSU last year had that season A&M was supposed to have.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, as we know, A&M beat them. But why would you were within one play of beating Alabama on its home field last year. Now, you can say A&M won't be as good as this year without Devon Achane, and maybe that's true.
Maybe.
But why would you look at Alabama and say they're going to be better? I'm going to take Bryce Young off that team. I'm going to take that running back. I can't think of his name right now. The little scat back.
Yeah.
I'm going to take him off.
Anderson.
I'm going to take Will Anderson off. Battle. Just go through that offensive line. Well, I'm going to take all those guys off, but I'm going to be better. So, heck yeah, they're the West is vulnerable.
Ole Miss has got 3 quarterbacks that could all be their guy, right? Who else are we talking about here? LSU. LSU will. They're not going to catch anybody off guard this year.
Yes, or no, they won't. And look, give them all kinds of credit for winning the West, but A&M showed how vulnerable they could be, and they've lost some really key guys too. So everybody loses key guys, but I think with the I think LSU and Alabama lost the most.
Do you think Auburn's going to be better just because of the coaching change?
I think the coaching change will make them better.
Yeah,
but they relied so heavily on Tank Bigsby. I don't know what he's done as Hugh Freeze has done in terms of receivers or quarterbacks. I, quite frankly, sitting here today, not knowing any more about them than I do, I think Auburn's probably going to be very much like Auburn was last year.
Yeah, I'm looking some of these teams, and like Bama, I have no reason to believe they'll be better. Now, they are Bama, and they are Nick Saban led, so of course they're going to be, I don't know about fine, but it wouldn't surprise me if they figure it out and they get the right guys, right? But
that's true, but I'm telling you, I'm ready to say today they're not as good at quarterback.
100%. They will not be as good at quarterback. Mississippi State, I think there's a big question mark there with a different coach.
Yeah. And they've lost some really good talent, too.
Rest in peace to Mike Leach and Zach Arnett taking over there, a different kind of mindset, so we'll see how that affects it. Ole Miss, look, I told you last year before they started losing that I thought they were a suspect team to begin with. And what did they lose? 4 out of the last 5 games?
Yeah, A&M.
Arkansas, I don't know.
I don't see how Arkansas can be as good as they were. You're going to take that offensive line with Stromberg. I think they're either losing 4 guys in the offensive line or all 5 of them. Now, KJ Jefferson's come back, and they have a heck of a running back. It seems like they lost a receiver. I know Drew Sanders isn't there anymore. Bumper Pool's not there anymore. They've had some guys transfer out of the secondary. And I'm not going to say Arkansas is going to be bad, but it's hard for me to look at – they had a really good offensive line and say to lose all those guys. And then Drew Sanders, who came in and made such an impact, and Bumper Pool, who'd been that guy that's been a steady influence for so long, and take them out. And I just can't see how you're better.
So – stability at quarterback, you look through it. Arkansas, Mississippi State, LSU. It's like one tier of stability. And I think A&M is at the next tier.
Yeah, with the potential to be better. Yes, absolutely.
And then after A&M, Ole Miss is I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Ole Miss. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you this. First of all, I thought Jackson Dart was okay. I thought, he
was really good against us. On 3rd and 8 situations, scrambling, getting first downs. Yes.
Yeah, you got to get me started again about not spying on a running quarterback. But if he was so good, why are you bringing in Spencer Sanders? If you feel that comfortable with him, why are you going to bring in competition for him?
Sure. I just, in a world of NIL, in a world of having you never know how things are going to play out. Why not?
If you're Spencer Sanders, you're not going somewhere to be a backup.
No, but he didn't have the best year last year either, though.
I'm just saying there's 131 teams in Division I or what, FBS.
And you chose that school.
And he's not going there to be a backup.
Yeah. So, and then obviously there's questions with coaching. And I mean, how is Hugh Freeze going to change Auburn? How many years is that going to take? And the Zach Arnett part we already brought up. So there's questions everywhere in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't use
There's questions in the East.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But you can't use the A&M LSU game as your huge reason to believe. Let's continue this on the other side of the break. But I do think it shows you a glimpse of when things are together with this team, what they could look like. And that's why I don't read too much into the LSU game, but I'm certainly using it as a piece of information. Right now we're talking Heritage Films. That is a company that does documentary films about normal people just like you, just like people down the street from you, your boss, your uncle, your grandfather. They can do a documentary about a family being eye in the sky during a great time, maybe even family Easter, right? You have the folks over, you have the grandkids over, you have everybody over there. You have Chance McClain and his crew kind of just being an eye in the sky, getting all the video and setting up interviews on the side to kind of tell your family story. That's what Heritage Films does. They do it for family businesses. They do it for ranches. They do it for people. And it's a documentary, like a Netflix style, that can be preserved for your family and told over and over with the voices of the people actually in the story. They don't have to hear it from you. They can actually hear it from the source. The website is yourheritagefilm.com. Yourheritagefilm.com, and the phone number for Heritage Films, 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
We play like we're first, train like we're in second.
It's time. Oh, here we go!
Let's go! Let's go!
If you own construction equipment, you need preventative maintenance, and WPI has you covered with their new on-site service tech. Regardless of your machine's make or model, WPI has the hoses, filters, and fluids and parts needed to keep your equipment running at maximum performance. For the best price in town on preventative maintenance on every brand of construction equipment, call Jesse James at WPI in Bryan, Highway 21 East at Marina Road. Click WPI.com.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The Zone 1150 and 93.7 invites you to hop over to the George Bush Presidential Library and Museum on Saturday, April 1st from 9:30 to 12 noon for their annual Easter celebration. Those 9 years and younger can enjoy an Easter egg hunt, carnival games, face painting, door prizes, balloon animals, complimentary refreshments, and photos with the Easter Bunny. For more information, log on to bush41.org.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country, and Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Polaris Fun Center sells and service Polaris ATVs, Rangers, Razors, Global Electric Cars, and the Polaris Slingshot. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC. And you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone.
Maroon U is your ultimate stop for brand name apparel, gifts, and accessories for the entire family. From Columbia, 47 brand, Yeti, Dooney & Burke, and Adidas, we're able to outfit you for every occasion. Visit Maroon U and our family of companies on Holloman Drive in College Station to shop the latest in brand name Aggie merchandise. Shop Maroon U today, voted best in the Brazos' best gift shop since 2016. Maroon never looked so good with Maroon U.
Would you like to win a pair of tickets to Chili Fest? The Zone has locations all across town. You stop by, scan the QR code, you're entered. It's just that easy. You could stop by Twin Peaks, eat, drinks, scenic views. You could stop by Uptown Cheapskate, College Station, sustainable, upscale fashion, trendy, designer, and vintage fashion without the mall prices. For a complete list of locations, go to zone1150.com.
And we're back, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. Good old song there. OB, it's funny, I see this on the TexAgs chat. But good morning. I expect raging for 3 hours over the Stanley Tucker getting pushed off the base by LSU, then being called out. Expected yet by another incompetent SEC ump. Come on, David and OB, bring the rage.
Well, I think had there been had they lost, there'd be more angst about that. But we talked about Stanley making a diving catch that really saved the game. So if you're going to talk about Stanley, I mean, that's what I'm going to focus on. The brilliance that he displayed.
He did. That play though, it's like that's one of those like, I need Bronny or Schloss to kind of explain to me, because I read Schloss's comments after the game. He didn't seem outraged, Although I think we all agree it was the wrong call at the end of the day. So, but we'll certainly do that when we have Bronny and Schloss on with us at 9:05. You brought up the East in that last segment, and we didn't really go through the East, but you're reminding me of how bad the Florida situation is.
Yeah, they're going to be relying on a failed quarterback from Wisconsin. Well, failed may be too strong. A mediocre quarterback for Wisconsin, Graham Mertz, 19 touchdown passes. I think it was 10 interceptions. 5 of his touchdown passes came against Northwestern. 3 of them came against New Mexico State. The rest of the time, he's what would that be? 11 touchdown passes and 9 interceptions because he had an interception in New Mexico State. And if you're a marginal quarterback in the Big Ten, I just don't see that transferring to being a successful quarterback in the SEC. Plus, he's probably going to have – he probably had more protection at Wisconsin. If anything, Wisconsin typically does well, its offensive line, than he's going to have against Florida, who wasn't that great in the offensive line last year. And now their guard that came with Napier from Louisiana Lafayette, Osiris Torrance, is projected as a first-round pick. So and they've had some other guys. Florida looks to me like they're going to be weaker than they were last year.
I mean, to me, Georgia, can they be the same team?
No, but they can still be really good.
Tennessee
is not going to be the same team. I don't see how you can. South Carolina was fortunate.
Those are the losses to South Carolina. And I'm trying to think which other one really eats at me. They all do. I mean, obviously,
Appy State.
But that game, because
Ole Miss,
you gave them 17 points.
Well, you did. And quite frankly, I thought if Jimbo would have removed Haynes King after that duck he threw for an interception, had they removed Haynes then, I think that A&M would have found a way to win.
Kentucky, I'm reading that they're going to be better. I don't know how, but okay. Will Levis is moving on.
Yeah, you're not going to have Will Levis. Christian Rodriguez is no longer there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be better. Okay.
Liam Cohen is back, who used to be their OC. Missouri and Vandy, whatever. But Tennessee should still be – not Tennessee. Georgia should still be pretty salty regardless, I think.
Yeah, and I don't know what to expect from Tennessee. I don't know who's all back, but I know who's not there. And Hyatt's not there, that receiver
who was incredible.
And your guy, why am I having
Hendon Hooker?
Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
Why am I having a hard time remembering him?
Well, we haven't talked about them in a while, but they will start today, and we will have reports obviously afterwards and continuous coverage of Aggie spring ball. We'll talk to Jimbo, we'll talk to Anais, we'll talk to Damani, and I think that's it, right? There's only those 3.
But sitting here I guess we're in the late part of March, right? Mm-hmm. In late March, you look at it, and it's huge but if A&M can iron out its wrinkles, the opportunity is certainly there. And I'm talking about better offensive line play, better run defense, and better quarterback play.
Just an offense. Because what I think we saw last year is 2 things happened at the same time. The offensive line was getting better towards the end. They were getting better.
They were.
But having I don't want to say competent quarterback.
Yeah, you can say that.
The quarterback offensive line relationship of how a line can make a quarterback look better on certain plays and how a quarterback can make that line look better by the decisions he makes, getting rid of the ball quick, running, checking down, whatever it may be, that got better as the year went on. And, oh, by the way, it's because Connor Wegman started.
Yeah, it is. I don't want to trash the previous quarterback, but I think it was obvious that the guy you replaced him with was better. It's too bad that Wegman had everything going against him in that Auburn game.
Yep. I am looking forward to it, and I guess it'll be in spring ball when we get to talk to Bobby Petrino. Not spring ball, fall camp when it opens. We'll get to talk to
the one day.
The one day for 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to hearing what he really thinks of his quarterbacks. We're probably not going to get real information, but because if that was what we had last year with what I thought was a pretty bad offense, if we just updated what are we going to get?
Certainly the potential is there, but again, you have to tap the brakes just a little bit because Devon Achane's not back there.
Yeah.
And you say, well, hey, I like what I saw in small sample size from Amari Daniels and Le'Veon Moss, and hey, there's a 5-star guy, Reuben Owens coming in.
You got to do it though.
But you got to do it, and Achane had done it.
And if we're going to use it against Bama,
right? Then you got to use it against.
You can use it against A&M.
Absolutely.
But I do think is Bryce Young? I'm trying to think. Is he the best quarterback we've seen there?
Well,
in the last 10 years, like he didn't win a championship. The other guys did, but
I know some people were saying that Tua Tagovailoa was the best college quarterback ever, right? For a while. I don't know if I think personally that Bryce Young was an excellent quarterback who was really dangerous when he had excellent receivers.
But he was pretty darn good last year without him.
He was. He wasn't the same. He's still pretty dang good.
I mean, 3,328 yards passing, 32 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
No, I mean he's brilliant. He's excellent.
Yeah. He was even more brilliant, is what you're saying, though, when he had people around him.
When he had people around him, they're national championships and went national champions. And when he didn't have as much talent around him, it showed. I thought.
And they were vulnerable, but I think they were the only reason that they were as good as they were is because of the kind of season he had.
Well, yeah, he made them, much better. And so you take that guy out, a guy that people say, hey, look, here's a guy who won a Heisman Trophy, and look how great he is, and he's all that. I'm not saying he's not great. I'm not saying that at all. I just don't see how they can be better without him.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
But you know what? They also don't have Bill O'Brien.
That's a huge upgrade. So looking at these numbers from 2021 to 2022, he threw almost 200 less passes in 2022. He
was hurt for a little while.
He was. And in 2021 he threw for 4,872 yards. 2022 3,328. But I mean, a lot of the numbers are pretty similar, except he did miss time. So that dude was. He was pretty special, but there's vulnerability everywhere there in the SEC West. Something that caught my attention this weekend, 247 Sports, not that I read them a lot, but they had the most intimidating college football environments for the 2023 season.
Okay.
And it had Kyle Field, obviously, and it has penciled in the Alabama A&M game. And really, when you think about it, these last 2 years have both come down to the last play. 2 years in a row. Will we get a third one like that? And at Kyle Field with the magic that we have?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Both teams have some talent coming back. Both teams have holes to fill, and I think Alabama suffered more losses than A&M did, and A&M has some significant losses. But I don't, as of today, don't see. Looking ahead, I don't see any reason why you'd think you wouldn't go into that game expecting to win it.
I agree. All right, let's hit a break here. When we come back on TexAgs Radio, we'll get to those text messages on the A&B text line. Right now, we're talking about Fargo's Pit Barbecue, 1701 South Texas Avenue in Bryan. They're open Tuesdays through Saturdays. They're not open today, OB, but they're going to be open tomorrow, and they're known for their specials. So I'm going to just quiz you as I always do. On a Tuesday, what do you think they have as a special?
I know they got rib tips.
That is true.
I know they do.
And once they're gone?
They're gone.
And they also, on Wednesdays, what do they have?
Wednesday, is that I get mixed up sometimes. Is Wednesday the pork chop?
It is the chopped beef.
Chopped beef on a baked potato. Thursday would be the pork chop. Friday's the fish.
Yeah.
Saturday, back to rib tips.
Back to rib tips. They've been a part of this community Fargo's has for 22 years, and it's just a great place to go get your grub on. But also for weekends, for office parties, you name it, they're going to take wonderful care of you. Good food done the right way. They are one of the top 50 barbecue joints in the world, according to Texas Monthly. 1701 South Texas Avenue in Bryan. Without a doubt, the best barbecue in town. That's Fargo's trademark because it's true. Go check them out.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone, brought to you by Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. Go see them at their new location on Highway 6 in Rock Prairie by Scott and White. Always fresh, never frozen. Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. Brazos County Master Gardener's Spring Plant Sale is Saturday from 8 to 11 in the morning at the Brazos County Extension Office. Bring your wagon and load up. The Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History invites you to Wildflower Day at Boonville Heritage Park this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Art supplies will be available. Urgent Animals of Hearn invites you to the 7th annual Find Some Bunny to Love event on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Ranch Harley-Davidson. BCS Habitat's Faith in Action Committee is hosting their annual Run for the House 2K Walk 5K race on Saturday, April 1st at Lake Walk Pavilion. For more details and to register, go online to habitatbcs.org. Community Calendar is brought to you by Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
First Financial Bank thanks the Brazos Valley for our continued success and growth. Come and celebrate the opening of our newest location at 2445 Harvey Mitchell Parkway in College Station. We're offering a special cash promotion for opening either a WOW checking account or a new savings account. Visit with our local banker at any of our locations for details. We have everything you need to manage your finances through our mobile app, online banking, and growing locations. Don't wait. Visit First Financial Bank today and experience how we put you first. Terms and conditions may apply. Approval required for all new accounts. First Financial Bank. Member FDIC.
This week at the 67th Annual Brazos County Youth Livestock Show, you'll find consumer science, ag mechanics, and cake judging, plus judging for rabbits, lambs, goats, pigs, heifers, market steers, and more. The commercial steer premium sale is Tuesday, March 21st at 12 noon at the Brazos Valley Livestock Commission. Saturday at 1, don't miss the premium auction at the Expo Center. Special thanks to American Momentum Bank, Aggieland Chevrolet, BTU, Lone Star Realty Group Compass, Spawgrass, Tom Line Plumbing and Mechanical, and TMJ Electric, and Texas Farm Bureau, Brazos County. Check out BCYLA.net for additional information.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Gulf States Toyota, Hargrove Insurance, and Twin Peaks. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
Do you like boiled hot dogs?
Why not just throw it on the frying pan or in a toaster oven or something even, you know?
You know the way boiled hot dogs look, though? All the grease or whatever it was.
Used to do weird stuff like
to
that.
the top.
Yeah.
My mom fed me boiled hot dogs and top ramen. I tell my mom, you should be thrown in jail for that. Come on, man.
It's Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor, here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Final segment of the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. It is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to Kay Nagley at the News and Social Center. Kay, we've got some text messages to get into. Let's whatever I want to say. Let's just talk about those.
Let's do it.
I was going to say sink our teeth in them, but that just didn't.
Yeah,
just didn't
maybe
feel
just
right.
read them.
Let's
maybe
discuss.
That's the best way to say that.
Can we discuss, please?
We shall discuss. So Edward and Austin.
You like the word "shall"?
Shall, really? Do I say that a lot?
I think you do. I think that's
shall.
We're going to start a shall counter.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's a good word.
No, I know. I just don't think I say that.
Yeah, you're like a grandmother. That's how grandmothers
Maybe
talk,
I
which
do.
is good. We like
I'm trying to expand my vocab. Anyways, Edward in Austin says, Connor is more important to this offense than A-Chain was. Teams won't be able to load the box. What's y'all's thoughts on that?
Well, I think your quarterback is your most important guy, but we can't.
You need them both.
And let's not discount just how much the offense was dependent on Devon A-Chain last year. I mean, it was like almost 100% dependent on him. You saw against Auburn what that he meant to that offense.
Yeah. And let's not forget, we got to be able to stop the run too. As much as I want to run the ball well with both Connor and whoever's leading the way in the backfield, got to stop the run. You can't have Ole Miss happen again.
No, you can't. Or a lot of other teams. Well, hell,
Mississippi State ran on you.
Appalachian State in the fourth quarter kept the ball away from you by running.
Yeah, but Mississippi State ran all over you.
Yeah.
All over you.
It's crazy.
Okay.
We're going to flip the page, do a little baseball talk. Wendy in College Station says, lots of decisions on deck for Schloss. It's hard to win if you give up so many free bases. I expect changes in the lineup and rotation for Tennessee. Then the question shifts, and can you take Kent out when Minnick and Warner come back? Wells is doing well as a freshman, too. A lot of decisions ahead, and not just this week.
Yeah, a lot of questions, but he discussed a little bit of that yesterday. We'll get into it a little bit more when he joins us. But, yeah, he's got some questions about the rotation. Did they move Chris Cortez? Does Nathan Detmer stay your Friday night? I assume so, but a lot of questions to worry about.
Yeah. The Kent kid, of course, I'm not covering him every day, but I'm trying to keep up with it. Seems to me like he's playing really well.
He is. He's playing very well.
I think as long as he keeps playing well, you keep him playing, right?
Yeah, but, I mean, and let's just call it a good problem to have. If you've got to move people around because of that much talent and people coming back. Like, think about it.
I know I'm letting this Tucker kid play.
Well, yeah, but if you would have, you've got Minnick out, you've got, what does he call it?
Trevor Warner.
Trevor Warner out. Like, you have two studs out, and you got the number one team with the best pitcher ever. I'm just saying that, but very good pitcher coming in. Taking one of the three, I don't want to say I like it, but much better than it could have been.
I just wonder how.
I mean, much worse. It could have been much worse.
I wonder how Game 2 might have gone had you been able to cut those walks in half. 5 instead of 11.
Yeah. So are you looking forward to being outside in the 42-degree weather for spring football?
Are we? I don't intend to be.
Oh, okay. That's smart play.
I would say, what am I going to see?
Yeah, I get it. Well, I'm glad that they're starting at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's, spring football is interesting, like I said, especially this year. But I have to admit, after the last 2 years of hearing how great quarterbacks Haynes King and Zach Calzada was, how they're going to be NFL-style quarterbacks, I can't take just what I'm hearing at the word. And now if I don't see it, I don't know that I can believe it.
Yeah. Thank you, Obi. Appreciate you, sir. When we come back on TexAgs Radio, Jim Schlossnagle and Ryan Broniger will get into those baseball topics we've been trying to at least address in the first hour of the program. We'll get into those. We also are going to talk to Brian Cortana around 9:35. Billy at 10 o'clock. It is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Everybody deserves a second chance, especially on your brackets with all the madness of March. Go now to zone1150.com and play Zone Madness Second Chance Brackets, brought to you by Aggieland Green and in part by Hungry Howie's, Gold Star Barber Studio on Longmire Drive, and Smokin' Aces Barbecue Competition Team. Play now at zone1150.com. Great prizes on our Second Chance Bracket, brought to you in part by Brazos Credit Union and C&J's Barbecue.
Do you have a problem with your pension or 401k? Pension Help America connects Americans to resources that can provide answers to questions about their retirement plans. Found online at pensionhelp.org, Pension Help America is a website of the Pension Rights Center, a nonprofit consumer organization that protects and promotes the retirement security of American workers, retirees, and their families. If you have a question about your retirement plan, visit pensionhelp.org. That's pensionhelp.org. A public service message from the Pension Rights Center.
Get connected and be in the know with the Zone. Follow us on Twitter at Zone1150. Like us on Facebook, Zone1150. Subscribe to our daily newsletter at thezone1150.com. This is KCNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. College Station's municipal judge tells WTAW News that it's a shame that the leader of a Texas A&M student group told the city council that he supports the decriminalization of possessing marijuana.
Judge Ed Spelling tells WTAW News that he never told members of A&M's chapter of Students for Sensible Drug Policy that he supports decriminalization. Judd said he met with the group and he told members that he did not have jurisdiction over marijuana cases and as a judge cannot take any position over laws concerning marijuana. Spokesman for the student organization also told the council that A&M student government supported decriminalization. Student body president Case Harris told the council that was not correct. Bill Oliver, 1620, 94.5 WTAW.
The College Station City Council gives the green light to a staff request to pursue city-initiated rezoning in 6 areas of town to allow housing where more than 4 unrelated occupants can live. The council also approved at its last meeting the first request to change rezoning to the new Middle Housing District. The council's unanimous vote for Middle Housing zoning was on land at Fidelity and Highlands, where a single home once stood. Brazos County's new public defender's office is up and running. Chief Defender Nathan Wood says this is the result of the number of criminal cases rising. At the same time, there are fewer defense lawyers representing people who cannot afford legal assistance. Promotion of Red Cross Month in Brazos County continued with an appearance at last week's Bryan City Council meeting. Mayor Bobby Gutierrez added some comments after reading a proclamation.
These are the people who do the first, they are the first responders. When we talk about first responders, not only fire and police, it's not only National Guard. These are kind of like our local National Guard people.
The Red Cross is hosting an online giving day this Wednesday, and volunteers are being recruited to install smoke alarms in Madisonville on April 1st. For more news, go online to WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Dazzling decal on Daisy's Donuts window. Bold banner at Barry's Barbershop. Prominent poster at Penny's on Park Place.
This is your sign. Well, signs. To try Staples and see the difference. Get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more.
From Staples, and I couldn't miss it.
Ends 4/15. Visit staplesconnect.com/printbig for details.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hillcosupply.com. Aggie baseball had number 1 LSU in town over the weekend and were able to avoid the sweep on Sunday. Stanley Tucker delivered a go-ahead single, and the Aggies scored 4 times in the 8th to come back and beat LSU. Head coach Jim Schlossnagle after the game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, every single win in this league counts. You need to avoid sweeps at all costs, especially at home. And it says a lot about the character of our team that, we're down a bunch of players, and you get guys like Tucker come in there and give you a little bit of a spark.
The guys will host Rice tomorrow at home. The game will start at 6 o'clock, and you can listen on The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Number 21 Aggie softball had a tough weekend. The Aggies dropped all 3 games against Georgia at home. Yesterday, the number 17 Bulldogs run-rolled the Aggies 8-0. The team will look to get back on track Wednesday against Louisiana Tech. That game will be at Davis Diamond at 6 o'clock, and you can listen on Gospel 97.3. In other Aggie athletics over the weekend, the number 27 A&M men's tennis team secured a 5-2 victory over Arkansas on Saturday. The number 2 women's tennis team remains undefeated in conference play as the women claimed their 5th straight win over LSU. They also defeated number 13 Miami yesterday to earn their 8th straight ranked victory. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett.
The Zone and the Louis Bellina Show want to send you to all the places you want to be. Go see Bill Burr at Reed Arena, the PBR Pendleton Whiskey Velocity Tour at Reed Arena. We send one lucky winner to go see the Turnpike Troubadours at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and we've got your tickets to go see Chili Fest. Listen in to win. Listen in to the Louis Bellina Show, presented by B&B Automotive and Superior Auto Service.
I mentioned at the top of the 8 o'clock hour how much better I feel about things after Aggie baseball's victory yesterday over LSU. Feels a lot better. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Roller Insurance Studio. Got Ryan Broninger in studio with us as we go straight to the hotline and we talk to Jim Schlossnagle. Coach, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, guys. Good morning.
Good morning to you. So let's just talk about it. How important was yesterday, considering the way the weekend was going, just to kind of change the vibe and the feel coming away with that victory?
Yeah, super important. Just a win overall. Obviously, on any day is important, but considering how ugly things were on Saturday, we really needed to just, number one, pitch well, see somebody go out and fill up the strike zone and not pitch afraid. And so Lampkin obviously gave us that, and Will Johnston, and we put together some good at bats. They gave us some free bases, and this game never changes, man. You give away free bases, you're going to lose, and if you get them, you're going to win. And we combined that with some timely hits, and so yeah, we're feeling much better about it. As the coach, you see the bigger picture and move on and see what happens.
Yeah, Coach. Going in, I know you guys had heavily scouted LSU, but did anything surprise you over the course of the weekend and kind of how they played the game, or as their season goes on and you watch kind of what the SEC does? Did you figure out a way that, like, where there may be some holes in LSU going forward, or were you pretty convinced they were a complete team?
Yeah, they're a pretty complete team, man. You got pretty much as close to a dead W on Friday night. You got a guy in schemes that I've been doing this 33 years. I can't, Mark Pryor, Strasburg. I think he's better than those guys, and he does it cleaner. He's a better athlete. He's going to be able to do it longer, would be my guess. But that just saves your bullets, and they run out of freshman Chase Shores. I know he had some wild pitches and walked a few or whatever to give us a chance. But when you're running your 5th or 6th, 7th pitcher and he's just throwing strikes at 98, that's a pretty deep pitching staff. Obviously, what kind of offense they are. Super impressed with their little freshman catcher, and then they're just an infinitely better defensive team. Jordan Thompson last year probably had close to 25 or 30 errors, and he's much improved. So there's other good teams. A&M, we have a good team. And I think we'll see that over the course of time. We can get healthy, but that's a real impressive team, no doubt about it.
Number one, what's going to be the conversation amongst the group of pitchers this week in terms of how they bounce back? And then number two, how do you go about finding answers, not only in the rotation, but obviously in the bullpen as well, as right-handed answers?
I don't want to get too deep into it because I want to discuss it with the players first. Mm-hmm. You guys have a very large crowd that includes players and parents. So let me visit with the players first. But I think we have a chance to make both stronger. What that's going to open up is there's going to be some guys that haven't pitched as much that are going to have to carry some loads for us, especially during the course of the week, and say tomorrow night. So a guy like Wyatt Tucker he's got to give us a good outing. Guys like Josh Stewart and Ty Sexton and some of these other dudes down there, man, they need to earn their keep by filling up the strike zone and helping us out, because every single inning they give us helps us, not just on Tuesday night, but throughout the course of the weekend. So I'm not out on some guys, but we need some guys to have a mindset change. And frankly, I'm tired of meeting with them. The guys that throw strikes are the ones that are going to pitch.
Offensively, kind of where were you at coming out of this weekend? And then obviously the decision to put Tuck in the game and the spark he provided.
Yeah, I feel pretty decent about, Friday night, it is what it is, with Schemes, that's the outlier player. Saturday was the game to win. We were up 4-0. I think, on a pitcher that I'm not, Floyd, who we put good at bats against last year. And, we didn't throw strikes. We walked 11, which I literally didn't sleep Saturday night. It's just disgusting and embarrassing to me. But I thought we battled the guys that we had to have available. I thought, we did a nice job, and I thought we set the table for the guys that need to drive in the run. And we did that on both days. And it's just a matter of, those guys getting a big hit like Hunter Haas did. And then with Tucker, I almost started him yesterday. He had I write the lineup out long before batting practice because I don't like BP to affect what happens in a game or what decisions are made. But he took a really good round, several really good rounds, and much better than what he's been in the last several weeks. And so I almost stuck him in there just because he's a beloved player in the program and he can give you a spark. And then when they brought the lefties in against our lefty, Cooper's been tough on our lefties. It was a pretty easy choice. I had given Chestnut that at bat the other night and decided long before that if we got that at bat, Tuck was going to get it, and he put together two great ones and obviously made a great play in center. So, we'll see. I'm sure you'll see him out there again Tuesday night.
Schloss, can we get an update on Trevor Warner and Brett Minnick?
Warner is really close. I think I just want to see him do every single thing on a field without any hesitation before I put him in the game. And actually the thing that we're waiting on is his ability, like on defense, to come and get like a slow roller play where you have to extend his left leg, the hamstring, where you really have to kind of extend it and throw off of that. That puts maybe the most strain on it. So I don't want to put him out there until we know that, so we can get it behind us. And then Minnick is seeing the doctor today in Houston, get an X-ray just to see how that thing is healing. And if everything's on schedule, he'll get to start to swing this week. I don't know if he'll get to swing and put against baseballs, but like dry swing. So I would say, who do we play? Tennessee, Ole Miss. I'd say extremely doubtful for Ole Miss, but maybe the week after that, because that's when you're getting close to that 6th-week mark that they told us it would be.
Coach, when you look around the league, Ole Miss goes to Vandy, they get swept. Tennessee goes to Missouri, they get swept. Those are your next two opponents, and now they're kind of trying to figure things out, and they're scratching their heads a little bit too. Just speak a little bit to what have you learned in 1 year and 1 week in this league that may have been different in your past baseball experiences.
Yeah, there's no breath of air. To look at the schedule and everybody in Ole Miss and then your natural reaction as well. Missouri didn't make the conference tournament last year. Maybe there's no breath. There's no breath at all. Like it's just a beat down every single weekend. And we were 2 innings away from being swept at home. So you could have had all three, us, Ole Miss, and Tennessee in that. So it's just every weekend's unto itself, and you just have to play better baseball. I mean, I like to think if we just threw strikes, decent strikes, the left-handed pitchers we had set up to beat them on Saturday, we'd be sitting here talking about a series win against the number 1 team in the country, but we didn't, and so we're lucky to come away with the one we got. So it's a grind for sure.
Coach, in the last couple of weeks, Will Johnston has been fantastic on the back end of games. Have you seen him grow in that closer's role? It seems to me like he's got the mentality and demeanor for it.
He does. He's found, he's found what I would call, neutral thinking, right? I mean, he was an over-emotional guy. So it's okay to play with emotion. It's not okay to be emotional. And he was an extremely over-emotional guy. As a sophomore last year or whatever it was, the year I was here last year. And now he's found that middle ground of aggression, but also being in control of himself. So if he gets behind the count, he can get right back in the count. He's got the 2 different breaking balls. You see a guy like Tommy White who came into the weekend with 5 walks and 5 strikeouts. And, in other words, he's swinging and he doesn't miss the ball, right? He's not going to walk and he's going to hit it when he swings it, and he punches out, pretty convincingly against Will, I believe, and then Justin Lampkins, like with the 3-2 front door changeup, was locked him up. So you got to be a pretty good pitcher to punch him out, and Will's pitching great.
Let's talk a little Hunter Haas. What a weekend! It looks like 8 hits. He had the 4 RBI over the weekend. Just your thoughts on how this young man has been this year.
I don't have any clue where we'd be without him. playing an elite shortstop. Every at bat's competitive. Unbelievable human being to be around. Ultimate competitor, great teammate. Like, you can't say enough things about him. Just need to keep him healthy, and if we can get, Werner and Minnick back and get some guys in the right spots in the order, maybe we can get him up. That's why I keep trying to slide him down a little bit in the order. If we can get enough on base guys ahead of him, I need to get him hitting with men on base. And if we don't get some guys back, we're going to really have to think about shuffling this lineup to have our better hitters hitting when there's people on base.
Coach, just first weekend series for all those freshmen. How do you think they came out on the other side of it? I thought, Jace and Caden had some quality at bats. I even thought Max got in and competed, and Case and Wells too. So just what does that do for those guys when they're able to get in the box and see they can compete against the best in the country?
Yeah, I think every single experience is only making them better. We all wish they were hitting 350 with, a bunch of extra base hits, but I do believe they're capable of that at some point. But they're getting awesome experience. Honestly, other than Tucker's hit obviously was huge, but the play of the game yesterday was Case and Wells stealing third base because and we always look to run all the time, but especially first and second, because a single gets you 2 runs, and then that swing and bunt from who was it? Was it Haas?
Yep.
Whoever just that slow roller down the third base line that scored a run, and that very could have easily been if we hadn't stolen the base, that could have been a 5-3 double play. And now you're only up a run in the ninth. So, those guys are awesome. Max has great at bats. He doesn't have a lot of hits, but he noticed how deep in counts he gets, and I don't have the stats in front of me, but he has a bunch of walks. So that's what I'm talking about in that 9-hole with those catchers is that the hitting that'd be great, but it'd be nice. I just need him to get on base so we can flip the lineup over and have guys like Haas and Moss and Boast and maybe Werner and Minnick when they get back. Those guys hitting with runners on base. That was the beauty of our team last year. Is the bottom of the order got on base a lot for the top.
Schloss, we appreciate your time, and good luck against Rice. We'll talk to you here on Thursday.
All right, guys, have a great week. Gig 'em.
Thank you. Jim Schlossnagle there on the hotline. Brody, stick around for another segment. Got a few?
Thanks for the invite. Yes.
It's on the rundown. Do you ever look at the rundown?
Jeez.
I like that hoodie, by the way.
I will not ever miss a rundown ever again.
Hey, that looks like a superhero hoodie. I like it.
A superhero hoodie?
Yeah, you got the little emblem in the middle. It looks great.
Okay.
I like it.
Thank you.
It's a very good
It was clean, so it went on.
But it's very nice as well. By the way, hello to our friends on the CW. Hello to our friends on YouTube and TexAgs.com, and, of course, the Zone 1150. Right now we're talking about the Association of Former Students who've been around for over 140 years, and thankfully your financial gifts have empowered them to help out Aggies all around the world, and they have certainly done that for a long time through scholarships, student assistance programs, Aggie bands, Silver Taps, Green Day, class reunions, Mustard Tailgate, traveling Aggies. That is what the association does, and it's just an amazing gesture that they continue to give back. And that is why they've created their why, and their way is IamTheWhy.com, a site where you can see all these stories about Aggies, where you can upload your own story and check out people's perspective of their time at A&M, at their time beyond being here, and how the Aggie Network has really shaped their lives. It is IamTheWhy.com, a place you can upload your story and tell everybody about your time at A&M and beyond. The website is IamTheWhy.com. Again, IamTheWhy.com.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The Bryan Noon Lions Club invites you to the 49th annual John and Beth Slovacek Memorial Sausage Supper, Tuesday from 5 to 7 at Bryan High School Silver Cafeteria. Purchase tickets at Brazos County Bank or either Extraco Bank location. Friends of Chamber Music presents German virtuoso organist Christian Schmidt in a free concert at A&M United Methodist Church in College Station on Tuesday night at 7. The community is invited to a groundbreaking for the Never Forget Garden site at Veterans Park this Wednesday morning at 11:30. Find more information online at neverforgetgardenbrazosvalley.com. Texas A&M's Brothers Under Christ invite you to Island Party benefiting Living Water. The music festival is this Saturday at Wolfpen Creek Park. More information and a link to tickets is on Instagram at Aggie Island Party. Listen in to the Louis Bellina Show weekdays 11 to 2 to win your tickets to see Bill Burr at Reed Arena. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
If you own construction equipment, you need preventative maintenance, and WPI has you covered with their new on-site service tech. Regardless of your machine's make or model, WPI has the hoses, filters, and fluids and parts needed to keep your equipment running at maximum performance. For the best price in town on preventative maintenance on every brand of construction equipment, call Jesse James at WPI in Bryan. Highway 21 East at Marina Road. Click WPI.com.
MVR Texas Construction says each year thousands of people are robbed of their lives by drunk drivers. Don't be a highway robber. Don't drink and drive. This message is from Rick at MVR Texas Construction, right here in College Station, specializing in junk removal, dump trailers, and trailer rentals. Call 979-229-2683. That's 979-229-2683. MVR Texas Construction, wishing everyone a safe and happy spring season.
Everybody deserves a second chance, especially on your brackets with all the madness of March. Go now to zone1150.com and play Zone Madness Second Chance Brackets, brought to you by Aggieland Green and in part by Hungry Howie's, Gold Star Barber Studio on Longmire Drive, and Smokin' Aces Barbecue Competition Team. Play now at zone1150.com. Great prizes on our Second Chance Bracket, brought to you in part by Brazos Credit Union and C&J's Barbecue.
And we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Roller Insurance Studio. Bronny's still with us. Bronny, Turnpike Troubadours, right? Am I right about that, Nick? That's Turnpike, right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
See, I know my country now. I'm Mr. Country.
We're so proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Next, we're going to test you.
What did you get? Anything good to eat in Iowa?
The lobster, what does he call it? Macaroni lobster?
Lobster mac and cheese?
Oh, my gosh.
You told me that you ate that was your big indulgence. But, I mean, Puglisi gave you recommendations about the pork tenderloin sandwich.
I don't have to listen to Puglisi for recommendations.
But you acted like you were going to do it.
I acted interested.
Like I said, yeah, me and Nick knew that was fake.
Okay, first off, you can ask Jamie. You can ask Olin. I even ate fried food, chicken and waffles. Yeah, I ate what I wanted to eat.
Okay. Well, why didn't that come up? I mean, all you talked about was the lobster mac and cheese.
Is that healthy? Is there anything healthy about lobster mac and cheese?
No, but there's less healthy about, or chicken and waffles is less healthy than that.
Well, it depends. I had one chicken and waffle, and I had a lot of lobster mac and cheese. And I'm talking like the pieces of lobster were like the size of my hand.
There's nothing wrong with lobster.
Lobster's good.
Yeah.
Lobster's excellent.
Would you say that like lobster or like a shrimp scampi is unhealthy?
I don't know about unhealthy. I think everything in moderation, here I go, is fine.
All right, let's
get right into it. So I started off the show. There is a different feeling coming into work today, getting one of the three games, the way you got that game, considering the way the weekend was going. It's just, to me, and maybe I'm wrong, we'll find out against Tennessee and Rice. But to me, it just feels completely different here today as opposed to what it could have felt like.
Yeah, no question. I wrote yesterday that you want to win every one of them, but I mean, that's really not feasible in this league, and especially against a team like LSU, where I don't know how you beat them on Friday night. Paul Skeens the best college pitcher I've ever watched.
Wow.
And if he's not getting big league hitters out in the next 12 to 18 months, I'll be really, really surprised. I mean, that's how advanced that guy is. And what the stuff he had Friday night, I'm sitting there watching it going, hey, how do you score 2 runs off this?
Yep.
You know, one, you can kind of maybe luck into 1 run. But with their offense and him going, I don't know what the recipe for success looks like against that. So you're almost playing a 2-game series, you know, down 1-0 with the way he's going on Friday nights right now. But yeah, it tastes better coming out. I mean, of the weekend, it leaves a better taste in your mouth than obviously getting swept at home. And when you look around the league at what happened, like I mentioned with Schloss, with Tennessee and Ole Miss, and South Carolina swept Georgia. So I think there was at least 3 sweeps across the league.
Yeah.
Maybe Kentucky swept Mississippi State too. Did I miss that?
I'm going to the SEC standings, and Kentucky won 3 of their games. Yes.
So there were 4 sweeps across the league last weekend, which is almost unheard of in a conference that is as competitive as this. Look, it's week 1. There's 9 more of those weekends. We said with this stretch of games, you needed to find a way to win 4. You still could, but just because Tennessee got swept on the road at Missouri, does that mean that they're any less of a ball club than they were a week ago when they were number 2? No. I mean, there's still all the talent that got them those preseason accolades, just like there is on A&M's roster. I love the grit and the toughness shown by that club yesterday. We'll see if this is kind of another one of those big keynote events of the season when you go back and look at it in its totality at the end. When we talk about that Texas Tech game at Minute Maid, when we talk about the Sunday game against LSU rallying to salvage one, we'll see. Like the story is still being written. My article last week was about what we think we know and how every one of these subsequent weekends we're going to know we know about this team. You're still in wait and see mode. I think they've got some issues with pitching. They got to throw the ball over the plate, man. Like that kind of surprised me from Nathan Detmer and a little bit from Chris Cortez, and it was almost like they were Troy Watson to me just didn't have a feel for the strike zone. It was different watching Troy than it was Nathan and Chris just watching the game. I thought Troy was ready to go and ready to compete. He just had no feel. I thought Nathan settled in, and he ended up pitching pretty good. It was pitched okay on Friday night, but it took him a little bit to settle in and kind of it felt like maybe he was just a little too amped up. I don't know. And they may be respecting this LSU lineup a little bit too much. But to LSU's credit, I thought maybe the north wind would be a problem for them all weekend because there were some big swingers that haven't faced a lot of really top-end pitching. And I thought maybe those big swings, they'd be under balls, they wouldn't go out of the ballpark. And that was kind of A&M's recipe for success against them on the mound. But to their credit, to LSU's credit, they stayed on the baseball a whole lot over the course of the weekend. They hit a lot of line drives, hard ground balls. Dylan Cruz is as advertised. Their 2, 3, 4 in their order are the best in the country. I'm very comfortable saying that. When you go Trey Morgan, Dylan Cruz, Tommy White, and then, oh, by the way, their 5-hole Gavin Dugas was hitting like 400 or 350 something coming out of the weekend. Like they're as good, as talented as any college baseball team that we've seen in a long time. And I said that going into the weekend, and they didn't do anything to make me not believe that coming out of the other side of the weekend. They defended way better than I thought they did last year. They're much improved in that area. We're going to talk about LSU all year like we talked about Tennessee last year. And the fact that if they're not in Omaha, you're going to say what happened. And that's exactly what we did with Notre Dame upsetting Tennessee in that Super. Like, how did that happen? That was the best college baseball team by miles over the course of the season. So to your point, to your question, enormous for A&M to salvage one and get a good feeling back in the clubhouse and in the dugout.
Well, and considering even if you're 100% full strength, there's questions with the pitching staff, and you've got 2 studs out of your lineup, and you're taking on a team that is equivalent to what Tennessee was last year. I think you think about all those factors, and you win one, obviously not ideal, but it could have been way worse.
Yeah, and you're getting really, really good experience for these younger guys. And look, it's to the point now where these veterans are – it's not even – I wouldn't even call it being pushed by the younger guys. Like some of these younger guys are being passed, are passing the veterans. And Case and Wells, you got to find him at bats because they're always competitive. I think you had 4 hits against Paul Skeens on Friday night. And Case and Wells was one of them. And he gets on base, and he's got a great feel for the game. And like Schloss said, the double steal for the insurance run in the 8th inning was enormous. And that play was made by a freshman at second base and a first-year Division I player in Tucker, right, at second base. Huge play, huge play. And you got guys in scoring position for your best player so far this year in Hunter Haas. And got a little bit of luck and hit a soft ground ball and beat it out, and for a really important insurance run. So Cason Wells, you got to find at bats for.
Yeah.
Stanley Tucker, you got to find at bats for. I still think there's very much a spot in this team for Tab Tracy. You got to find him at bats. Obviously, Jace Lavalette and Caden Kent are going to get at bats and have gotten a bunch of at bats. So when Werner and Minnick come back, what does that look like?
Yeah.
You know, and how do you shuffle that? It's good that you've got all this experience now, because when you are at full strength, when you make late game moves, you're going to have plenty of options of guys that have been in the fire and have some confidence in this league now.
All right. Before I let you go, give me your perspective of the third base play with Tuck. Yeah,
it's a bad call. It's brutally bad. I was coaching yesterday and didn't get to see it live. And as soon as it was funny, like I was walking out of my dugout, and some of my parents who are big Aggies were like down the left field line behind the fence celebrating. So I knew that Tuck had gotten that hit. That was actually in the 8th inning or whatever. So when I finally got a chance to go back and look at it, I couldn't believe it. Like, as brutally bad as, and I don't. And
what is the rule there?
So the rule is, it was a judgment that he wasn't pushed off the base. So you can't challenge that. And that's what Schloss said in his postgame, was like, when I went out there to talk to him about it, he said, yeah, you can't review if he was pushed off. And so Schloss was like, well, I better just take a shot. And, it's the 8th inning or 7th inning, whatever.
Right.
Might as well use this review because it's a big moment in the game, a big moment in the series. But, yeah, like, you clearly see Tuck has established himself on the base, clearly. And then Tommy White dives and lunges in and hits him on the wrist.
Not malicious, just a big, strong dude.
Yeah. And he hits him on the wrist, and that momentum pushes Tuck off the bag. Like, that's pretty blatant. Like, I don't know why you feel the need to make that call right there unless you are wanting to make a scene about you.
Right.
Like, just look at the play and call it as you see it. Like, that felt like a forced out call because you like eyeballs on you, because on Saturday you were so brutal behind the plate that you probably love that attention too. That guy needs a weekend off. No good. Can't have it in this conference. There's too much at stake on every single pitch in this league for you to make mistakes like that. He was brutal behind the dish on Saturday.
Is that something they can go to the league office about?
I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
But, there's got to be some level of accountability.
Sure.
It's not as egregious as what we saw in that Mississippi Valley State versus, was it UNO, where the umpire clearly had something out for the hitter.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah. But, so I'm not talking about a season-long suspension, but that guy was so bad, he needs a weekend off.
He does. Bronny, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
When we come back here on TexAgs Radio, Brian Corton will be here in studio. We'll be chit-chatting about Aggie men's golf. Right now we're talking Milliken Reserve, a farm-to-table community in College Station. They got homes, they got trails, they got wide-open spaces that you need to take advantage of. Such a beautiful place to go hang out, dedicated to the conservation of a healthy community. They've got respect for that native landscape and wildlife, 2,600 acres of open space and farms, 30 miles of trails and homes. They've got this beautiful, extensive network of trails throughout a wooded landscape that has walking paths, you got equestrian paths, you got creeks, you got ponds, you got gathering areas. It is a wonderful place to just go hang out. And they are committed to maintaining and restoring the natural habitat. All the animals you want to see, you can go hang out with them out there. You got the white-tailed deer, you got the songbirds, you got the rabbits, you got the turtles. And all homeowners there at Milliken Reserve sharing a legacy of conservation, which means that generation after generation, you're going to come home to that same beautiful countryside place. It is millikenreserve.com, the website to check it out, millikenreserve.com.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Our blood, our sweat, their tears.
It's time. Here we go.
Let's go.
The Zone 1150 and 93.7 invites you to hop over to the George Bush Presidential Library and Museum on Saturday, April 1st from 9:30 to 12 noon for their annual Easter celebration. Those 9 years and younger can enjoy an Easter egg hunt, carnival games, face painting, door prizes, balloon animals, complimentary refreshments, and photos with the Easter Bunny. For more information, log on to bush41.org.
Howdy, I'm Steve Bledsoe, Senior Vice President at Veribank. Whether you're looking for a safe place to keep and grow your money, funding to help your business expand, or financial advice to ensure you're on track for retirement, Veribank has you covered. we take a genuine interest in your needs and working to find the best solution for you. At VeriBank, we believe in giving you a better banking experience every day. Stop by our location in College Station or visit us at veribank.com. That's VERA bank.com.
VeriBank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
At ASCO, we're on it, and Case IH Farmall tractors are on it too. For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the little red tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, you can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and baling, and then some. Visit ASCO Equipment in Bryan to find a Case IH Farmall that's right for you. At ASCO, we're on it.
This week at the 67th Annual Brazos County Youth Livestock Show, you'll find consumer science, ag mechanics, and cake judging, plus judging for rabbits, lambs, goats, pigs, heifers, market steers, and more. The commercial steer premium sale is Tuesday, March 21st at 12 noon at the Brazos Valley Livestock Commission. Saturday at 1, don't miss the premium auction at the Expo Center. Special thanks to American Momentum Bank, Aggieland Chevrolet, BTU, Lone Star Realty Group Compass, Spawgrass, Tomline Plumbing and Mechanical, and TMJ Electric, and Texas Farm Bureau, Brazos County. Check out bcyla.net for additional information.
Does your bank know your first name? At Normandy State Bank, they do. Normandy State Bank is locally owned, controlled, and operated. This local personal touch means banking decisions are made on site the same day you request it. Normandy State makes banking easy. They're open Saturdays, offer state-of-the-art online banking, bill paying, fund transfers, check and statement images. Normandy State, where customer service is their priority. Normandy State Bank, rock solid. Member FDIC.
Everything in life has rules, and the Zone has prize rules for all contesting. You can check them out at zone1150.com. You may know you can win once every 30 days. There can only be one winner per household per month. You have 30 days to pick up your prizes. You have to be 18 or older to win. You have to present a legal ID to claim your prize. All prizes are non-transferable and not for resale. To make sure you do know all the rules, or if you have any questions about the prize rules, make sure to visit zone1150.com.
Zone1150.com.
Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
All right, we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner Schulers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. A week ago, number 15 Texas A&M men's golf team claimed back-to-back titles at the Louisiana Classic. Their 4th tournament win of the season. Brian Cortana here in studio. The chit-chat about Aggie men's golf. Hello, sir.
How you doing?
All right. How you been?
Busy, but, we're coaches. That's what we do.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming in. I know it's been busy for you. Let's just kind of talk about where we are in the season, how you feel about things.
Kind of in the middle of the spring, heading into what we'd call kind of our little bit of stretch. Once you get to spring break, you got a little stretch before you we go to the Floridian, then we have the home event, and then you got a little break before postseason starts. So this is kind of the closing stretch of the spring, and yeah, we're doing good. The guys are energized. They're working hard, and we've had some success. So,
well, recently, not too long ago, Louisiana Classic. Just talk to me a little bit about that. Younger guys stepping up. Yeah,
we've had some young guys play pretty well for us. I mean, it's Jaime's done a great job for us, and Pease, the sophomores, played some good golf for us. And we tend to rely on Willie and Sammy and Danny probably as much as we can. And they admitted that we'd say that they've been maybe a little more inconsistent than they want to be. But fortunately, we've got some young guys that have been doing a great job. So, winning there was a great win. Starting off in January, winning in Arizona was another great win. So we've had some success, but we know where we want to get and know where we want to be. So we know we got to keep working.
When you got a guy like Sam, obviously he gets a lot of attention. So let's pay a little bit to, is it Jaime or is it Jamie? Jaime. Talk to me a little bit about Jaime, what he's been able to do this year.
Jaime's he's just put a lot of good rounds together for us on the road. I think he's played 5 tournaments, counted all, but 3 rounds have been counters for us. He's shot some really good scores. He's a talented guy, fun to be around, great team guy, great sense of humor. Really enjoys being here and being an Aggie.
That course you played at last week, difficult, right?
Oakbourne, well, last year we shot like 50 under. So,
okay. Was it maybe the conditions?
The wind kicked around out of the north and blew hard. It was chilly, and north winds typically on golf courses are a little more difficult. But they baked it out, and they turned a par 5 into a par 4. So they didn't like the fact that Sammy shot 18 under last year, so they weren't going to allow that to happen again. But it was a different kind of challenge to go someplace that you are used to shooting low numbers and having to work hard for pars. Is a different kind of mindset, and we were scrappy at times, but for the most part, they stuck to the task at hand and won a golf tournament.
For Sam himself, how difficult is it to have the success he's had, have that target on your back, and still with so much left ahead?
I don't know. I mean, everybody handles and compartmentalizes things differently, but he's got a lot on his plate. But he would be the first one to tell you that there's no excuse for some of his golf he hasn't been happy with. But he'll get there. I mean, it's a fifth-year guy. When you have guys around this long, it's hard to keep them engaged when they're seeing what's going on in the future and where that leads them. So like he and Willie, sometimes I think they kind of start stretching it out a little bit, looking like, well, what's it going to look like in June or whatever. But they're when they get to postseason, they'll be locked in because they want to leave this program and this university leaving a stamp on what their career was and the time they put in, and hopefully it ends with some more trophies.
You were telling me at the break, busy schedule ahead. So talk to me through that. We got to leaving Wednesday, is that right?
So I'm caddying for Sammy at the Masters. So he gets the opportunity to play a couple rounds prior to the actual practice round. So we're going to go and play. He's going to go play Thursday, Friday, so I'll go with him. He'll use a local caddy because they make him use the house caddies there. So, but I will get to walk around and see Augusta firsthand. Then he's got the Georgia Cup match at the Golf Club of Georgia, which we play an event in the fall. He'll play the reigning British Amateur Champ on Sunday. They raise a bunch of money for charity. He'll be there to do that, and then he'll catch up with us in Florida, where we play.
Palm City?
Palm City, West Palm area, where we play the Floridian Monday and Tuesday. So really starting Wednesday, we'll be gone for about a week, but and we'll catch up with the team of Floridian. But it's a busy week, and then we come back, and then heck, we're 3 or 4 days from heading to Augusta for the actual Masters. So,
for you personally, how cool of an experience will this all be? Also, understanding that you've got your other gig to make sure you're focused on.
Fortunate, I've got a great assistant. So, Matt Fast and and our ops person Hunter, they'll do a great job making sure the Aggies ready to go. We've got some great help there with Bill Slade and the Traditions crew and Paul Marchand and how those guys help us put the Aggie together. So, I'll be able to sleep easy knowing the Aggie's fine. But yeah, it's a busy stretch, and it's to stay focused on what we're doing going forward is, it's always pretty easy for me because we win some golf tournaments, but man, I seem like I enjoy them for about 20 minutes. Then I'm trying to figure out how to win the next one. So, yeah, it's a different time, but being able to go to a Masters and that whole process with Sammy and going to be inside the ropes and walking, and he'll play with, if he goes normal pairing, it'll be Scotty Scheffler and I think Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Wow.
So he'll be in one of the feature pairings. Yeah, man, it's going to be pretty cool. He's excited, and I mean, all of us Aggies should be excited for Sam.
Yeah, and you mentioned something there that caught my attention. You get to enjoy a win for like 20 minutes, and then it's on to the next one. It goes back to that old adage, people hate losing more than they enjoy winning, because either way, you're still going to focus on the negatives and what's ahead.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I mean, with all of us. I mean, I'm sure Coach Loss the same way, and Buzz, and and Coach Fisher. I mean, all those guys. We get to win some stuff, but when it comes down to the end, it's still like, man, I won that one, but you're only as good as your next one. So, yeah, it's different, but that's the challenge. That's why we do it. It's not because we don't love winning and don't appreciate the wins. I'm sure we all sit down and think, man, that was pretty awesome. But then the same token, you're trying to figure out how to do the next one.
What a healthy place to be at this university with both the men's and women's program doing so well. I'm sure you guys have relationships on both sides.
Yeah, it's great to see Garrett and the girls doing a great job. Yeah, we've kind of turned into a nice little, both ranked teams and golf school, and we support each other and appreciate what we do. And we know it's not easy, but the support we get in A&M, and then we've got a great building. So makes going to work pretty easy.
I know we talked Jaime, we talked a little Sam. Anybody else that we need to be aware of that maybe we haven't really learned about?
Man, he hasn't played great, but Danny Rodriguez is a guy that potentially could be very important for us down the stretch. Willie Pace, we mentioned him quite a bit, but Pishak from Thailand, he's really put some good rounds for us together, and came up big for us at the end of last year, especially at SECs. I think he was leading SECs after 36 holes. So we got those guys. Yeah, Vishnu Setagopan. I mean, he's had a bunch of really good tournaments for us and really just nice, solid rounds of golf. So we have depth. Dallas Hankomer's been playing great at home and been pushing these guys. So when you're 6, 7, 5 guys are battling and pushing each other, it really makes you a lot better at that back end. And the front end guys will flat tell you that it's on them. But yeah, it's been exciting for us.
Am I right? The SECs aren't that far away, like a month away, maybe.
Month. Yeah. So it's in middle of April.
So it goes by like that, though.
It does. I mean, once we get done with the Aggie, we're really just over a week from leaving for SECs. So, and the Aggie will be here before you know it.
Yeah. Ryan, I appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ryan Corton here in studio. Right now we're talking Caldwell Country Chevrolet, locally owned and operated by some guys who love Texas A&M, like Zach Hester over there. He is a proud supporter of Texas A&M athletics. You name it, he loves to be a part of it. He holds his staff to very high standards. So when you go there to Caldwell Country Chevrolet, you're going to experience the difference because their staff there is going to help you find the right vehicle for you at the right price point and help you with your trade-in. They have the best trade-in options out there. You can go to other websites, go to other dealerships, you'll see, and then you'll go visit Caldwell Country Chevrolet, and you're going to experience such a different atmosphere. And that's why a lot of people here in town continue to go there to Caldwell to buy their vehicles. R.C. Slocum only buys his cars from there. Dante Hall has done it many, many times. Billy has done it. I've done it. It's a great place to go find, and you can really search for other vehicles at places and then compare it to what you have at Caldwell Country Chevrolet and come away just very, very happy. It's off of Highway 21 in Caldwell and online at CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. Make sure you go visit them real soon. They're going to give you the best option out there. Go check out Caldwell Country Chevrolet.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone, brought to you by Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. Go see them at their new location on Highway 6 in Rock Prairie by Scott and White. Always fresh, never frozen. Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. Brazos County Master Gardener's Spring Plant Sale is Saturday from 8 to 11 in the morning at the Brazos County Extension Office. Bring your wagon and load up. The Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History invites you to Wildflower Day at Boonville Heritage Park this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Art supplies will be available. Urgent Animals of Hearn invites you to the 7th annual Find Some Bunny to Love event on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Ranch Harley-Davidson. BCS Habitat's Faith and Action Committee is hosting their annual Run for the House 2K Walk 5K race on Saturday, April 1st at Lake Walk Pavilion. For more details and to register, go online to habitatbcs.org. Community Calendar is brought to you by Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Zwerneman Flooring, Lance Lester at the Lester Group, Specs Wine, Spirits, and Finer Foods, and Amarillo National Bank. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country, and Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Polaris Fun Center sells and services Polaris ATVs, Rangers, Razors, Global Electric Cars, and the Polaris Slingshot. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC. And you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone.
We're here with Jackson Rollo from Rollo Insurance. And Jackson, you guys have been around for a long time. You're the very best at what you do. But I ask you, why Rollo Insurance?
Well, we've been growing recently with over 45 offices in multiple states. But we haven't lost who we are. We're still super focused on being hyper-local and involved in the communities in which you're going to find a Rollo Insurance office. And we offer products like home, auto, life, health, and business insurance from some of the top carriers in our industry.
You name it, they do it. Visit RolloInsurance.com.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
If you put Giannis on a 16 seed, would they chip up?
I might believe if you put Giannis on the 16 seed, they can win it.
He changes everything at both ends of the floor for
he's the most, well, him in particular, he's the most unstoppable force in the game of basketball.
Right.
Like,
so if he was in college, just imagine.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
I'm not going to do it to you, okay? I'm not going to ask you who this is rapping. I'm not going to do it to you.
I mean, I'm
not going to do it. I'm not.
I'm not going to answer anything.
Are you familiar with Run DMC?
Yeah, I've
Are
heard
you familiar
the
with
name.
Aerosmith?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
I don't turn this on. I
don't
don't
expect
go
you to
on my
know it.
phone and I'm like, yep, this is the song I want.
I don't turn it on either.
Okay.
But I was alive
Have
during
you
this time.
seen everything Bad Bunny's been doing recently?
I know he was with the
He was on the James Corden
I heard he was
car
on the
thing.
car.
That was actually funny.
Was he good?
He was funny on it.
I need to watch that.
I need to. I'll admit that to you.
But he's hanging out with the Jenners, so
He is.
his career might be.
I saw you told Andy that in your
Oh, I
Spanish
did.
interview.
Did you? Could you understand?
No, there was a
Oh,
translation
that's right,
at the
that's right.
bottom.
That's right. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Just realized I put around Aggieland for $8.50, but it should be $9.45. So I apologize on the rundown being wrong. Kay.
I'm always ready.
Around Aggieland, presented by Normandy State Bank. Normandy State Bank, rock solid banking. The website is normandystatebank.com. Kay, what's going on?
So outside of sports, students are finally back from spring break,
I can
which
tell
I
with-
think everyone had a pretty good spring break, including me. I went to Gulf Shores with a couple of friends, and it was
I saw, yeah.
it was fun. But then besides that, football, we're finally getting back into it. Jimbo Fisher and the Aggies will begin preparation for their 2023-2024 season starting today. We will have a bunch of content out for spring practices and a press conference, including Jimbo Fisher, Anaya Smith, and Damani Richardson out later today. As y'all talked about earlier, number 15, baseball opened up its SEC schedule this past weekend, dropping the series 2-1, but had a great Game 3 on Sunday. The Aggies will finish off their season series with Rice. They've played them 3 times, I believe, this Tuesday as they host the Owls. That is set for 6 p.m. at Bluebell Park. You can view that on SEC Network. Softball, unfortunately, dropped their home conference slate this weekend, getting swept by number 17, Georgia. They will be back at Davis Diamond on Wednesday for a midweek clash with Louisiana Tech. Women's tennis continues SEC schedule last Friday, defeating LSU 5-2 before taking down number 13 Miami at the Mitchell Tennis Center. And then men's tennis also continued its conference season on Saturday, defeating Arkansas in Fayetteville 5-2. And then some track and field began its outdoor season at the Island Relay Bahamas Invitational this week. That sounds awesome. Wish I would have been there. As the men's team took home first place, while the women came in second. Pat Henry and company will continue their outdoor season on Thursday as they compete in the Rally Relays in North Carolina and the Victor Lopez Invitational in Houston. So I'm sure you can find those updates somewhere. So overall, it seemed like it was going to be a little low sports weekend, but Sunday I think really fired things back up for the Ags.
Well, again, one little victory, and
Yeah,
little is a big
I know.
victory. It's not little, but I know they lost the series. I know
Yeah.
LSU's rolling, but you get a victory like that, it kind of just jump starts, I think, everything.
Yeah, I hope they just continue momentum into the next couple weeks because it's not going to be easy. So.
Nope, not going to be easy at all. Any text messages you want to get into?
Let's see. Let me reload my computer because they get all mumble jumbled
Mine does
whenever
as well.
You have 50 tabs open also
I have
on
1,
your
2,
things.
3, 4, 5,
I always see
6,
your
7,
computer.
8, 9, 10,
Mine
11,
would-
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 tabs.
That's
But
crazy.
then I can justify all of them.
But does your computer work properly?
Works great, yeah.
Mine would break down.
Well, I got 2
need
emails
a computer.
open. Okay, 2 different types of emails. I got
Uh-huh.
my TexAgs email and my other email. I got my show notes. I got my rundown. I got my calendar. I got my Twitter. I got Facebook. I got TexAgs. I've got Instagram. I've got another Twitter. I don't know why. So that one I can get rid of. I have ESPN Scores, so I can go over the tournament. I've got YouTube page, so I can comment with our YouTubers. I've got SEC baseball standings, and this last one is A&M baseball stats, cumulative stats.
I hope you know that that's not normal. No normal person
If
does that.
Bronny says to me, Hunter Haas has done X, Y, and Z, I need to be able to find it immediately.
But then, you just have one Google search engine up? I
but
have
that-
one
that-
thing, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, but
And
I just
then
go here
can-
and I go, look, just ask me somebody on the team. Just ask me anybody.
It's what Stanley Tucker do.
Well, Stanley Tucker over the weekend? Forget about it. Stanley Tucker, I'll tell you what he did every day of the season. Against LSU, he went 2 for 2, 1 run. He went 0 for 1 against Northern Kentucky. Texas Tech 0 for 2, 0 for 1 against Rice. What else do you want?
Wyatt Tucker.
Why am I going to give you Wyatt Tucker's? Now I got to search for it. You catch my point.
Exactly.
I can do it. I just got to go to the pitching.
You just have to get moving really fast.
All right. I asked you something before.
You asked me to read a text. We
Yeah.
don't have any super great ones. I'm trying to think.
Jim and Temple. Interesting link to 5 guys our Ags may target in the basketball transfer portal. All right. I'm not going to get into the transfer portal of basketball. I know that I guarantee this. You know, we do bank on it a lot. I bank on Buzz and company finding a guy that a year from now we'll be like, man, where would they be without that guy?
Like Andy.
Dex. One more. Julius. The year prior, Boots. Like, I mean, that's what Henry Coleman. Like, there's gonna be like, you're gonna be like, wow, that has been what they have been able to maximize their roster during that time. Faux show.
I had to end it like that.
I had to do it. Any other text messages?
See, you're putting me on the. There's a lot of text about the push off the bag, which Bronny commented on.
It's a terrible play. Terrible.
Yeah, I was watching live, and it was. I mean, I'm not super like baseball's not my expertise at all. But that was very confusing to me. I keep up with everything. I'm pretty good about it.
To me, it's like there's certain calls you're like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
He was obviously pushed off, right? He's not a little guy, but smaller than the third baseman who pushed him off. Obviously, you got to make the right call in that situation. All right. Thank you, Kay. Appreciate you.
Of course.
When we come back on TexAgs Radio, we've got Billy Lucci, I think, in studio. We're going to talk about the baseball weekend. We're going to talk about the NCAA tournament. And with spring football getting started here today, we're going to talk to him about all those things. We'll have Jimbo Sound later on. Well, not on this show, but we're going to talk to Jimbo this afternoon. So looking forward to talking to him, getting an update on how things are. We're going to talk to Anaya Smith, Damani Richardson. We're going to see them in practice. We'll have a bunch of pics and vids later on TexAgs.com. Make sure you're a premium subscriber to see all of that. And we will continue looking through your text messages on the A&B text line. 979-693-1150. A&B, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank. It is good text. It is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We'll be back.